And Representative Martinez Fisher, the focus on Joe Manchin and Senator Sinema seems to become more and more vivid every day as you fight this battle in Texas. What would you ask of them if you could speak to them tonight?
Well, thank you, Lawrence. I mean, we're in the fourth quarter. This is a now or never moment for voting rights in America. We need every man and woman to stand up for America. With a Senate deadlocked at 50-50, the balance of our democracy lies in the hands of Senators Manchin and Senator Sinema. This is time to take a step forward for our country. Our democracy depends on you. We need you to be there for our democracy. Let's end the filibuster. Let's pass voting rights. Let's get back to the people doing their government and giving them good government for America.
Representative Gonzalez, you've already had a big win in what you've managed to knock out of this legislation. That plan they had about making it easier to overturn elections, that's been thrown out of this legislation that they're advancing. The Sunday morning voting they're not trying to prevent that now. Souls to the polls will be able to continue the way it has in the past. So you have a couple of wins on some very important items that were in the earlier version of this bill. What are the most important elements of what you're fighting now?
Well, the bill was already the elections process. I mean, Texas is already one of the most restrictive states to be able to vote in. And so the bill on its own, even initially, before these provisions got added at the 11th hour, was already adding more restrictions. It was criminalizing behavior that largely doesn't happen here in Texas. Considering that the former Secretary of State said in the first day of committee that our elections are fair, they're safe, they're secure. And so there's really not a problem to fix. But ultimately, the current version that recently got filed, it still bans drive-through voting. It still allows the partisan poll watchers, which will harass people who are going in to vote. And so overall, even though those two provisions got taken out of this version, this special session, this bill, it's still not good for Texans.
Representative Martinez Fisher, what happens next procedurally, and will it be an open process where we can all see exactly what's in the bill and how it got in the bill?
Well, we hope so. I mean, this is a special session, and there's nothing special about it. I mean, this is the suppression session to deal with voter suppression and other, red meat or wedge issues. Republicans have proven in the regular session that they wanted to write this bill in the dark of night. They wanted to use lawyers that were not government employees to insert this offensive and oppressive language. I hope they've learned their lesson. They're now trying to sort of walk this back. They're kind of, blaming each other for this nefarious language. But at the end of the day, Texas does a very good job of criminalizing voting. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that we shine a bright light on it. We need to make sure that we are speaking to the country. And we also need to make sure that we are taking this to Washington to let our national leaders know that if they can silence our voices in Texas, they will do it across America. And we need to stand up.
Representative Gonzalez, do you feel as if Senator Manchin, Senator Sinema actually don't understand how bad this kind of legislation is? I know there have been Texas legislators who've come to Washington to try to explain that to them.
And I think with our trip to Washington, I mean, we did see some progress that happened there, and we saw that what's happening here in Texas. We saw that today in the White House. Biden met with civil rights leaders. We saw that Eric Holder also had some conversations there, and so I think that yes, this issue is coming more to light. That people are paying more attention, especially after what happened this last regular session here in Texas. And here we go again for round two. And so, but yes, I mean, I think that they're starting to realize more and more the urgency here in Texas. This is a life or death situation here if this doesn't happen.
Representative Martinez Fisher, do you have a new strategy for this session that you didn't have last time?
Well, we have the backing of the American people. I mean, this has now become a national issue. The eyes of the nation are on Texas right now. And so we will continue to fight with all our might. We are holding the line. We will use every available tool in our toolbox, and we will stand up for voting rights. But make no mistake, even if we were to solve these problems here in Texas, this does not save the rest of the country. And that's why we need a national reform. That's why we need a national standard. I think, Congress is listening. The president is listening. The House is listening. We have a deadlocked Senate. It's a now or never moment. America, you need to wake up and speak out. We need to have a national For the People Act for everybody to save our democracy in this country.